Hello, everyone. Strong Mom here, and today we're going to talk about finances. And I don't really like to talk about finances very much because I feel like in a lot of ways, it's superficial. People make things about money, when it really isn't about money. But in this respect, though, I'm going to talk about how my ex was irresponsible with money. So he wanted anything in the moment to make him happy in the now. So he would, he did a lot of shopping, but it was usually food, but it was, snacks, and it was also alcohol. He bought a lot of alcohol. So, and I have mentioned this before, he would buy alcohol every day, you know, and then let us know that he deserved it. He worked really hard for that, and so that he's allowed to have what he needs to feel comfortable at the end of the day. Um, but because of his frivolous spending, I would put money aside. I would hide money, not in the bank, but I would take it out in cash and hide it, in places in the house for a rainy day. Also, if ever I had money, like I received it as a gift or whatever for like a birthday or Christmas or something from someone else, I would also hide it, for a rainy day because I knew that there would be a day when I would need it for medical stuff for the kids or maybe for the cars or whatever. But he would go throughout the house and ransack it. I would come home sometimes and it looked like, in the movies when the hero comes back to the house and the villain has destroyed the apartment or their room looking for that important whatever, that MacGuffin. That's what my room would look like or the house would look like. And it was him just, frantically searching for that cash so that, oh, because he needed to go spend it on whatever. He never saved for anything that he needed for work or otherwise, and he expected that I would somehow figure it out for him. Um, and that doesn't sound too bad, except that he wouldn't check the account and he would just, if he felt like purchasing something, he would just purchase it. You know, the other problem is that he would lose his jobs a lot. And I'm disabled, so the only thing that I have is my little disability check from the military, you know, coming in to support us. And the thing is, he would say stuff like he lost it because they were downsizing, he lost it because they were, whatever. It was just never his fault. But come to find out that, and a friend pointed this out to me, that the information he gave on like how they let him go, she said that doesn't sound right. They're not downsizing. Something's iffy there. They had asked for his computer and said that his computer was broken and needed to be fixed, and so he turned it in. And then they just, when he did that, they gave him his walking papers. Come to find out later that it's because he was doing not safe for work stuff with his computer for work. Like that's a given. If you got sensitive uh, company stuff on a computer, why are you going to even do that? I mean, like, we're not going to even discuss if not safe for work stuff is okay in one's life or not. But let's talk about the work aspect here. You don't do that for work. You don't do that with your work computer. And that was again and again. Another thing is because he's narcissistic, he does not want to be told what to do. So when the boss or whoever his supervisor was told him to do something, he would argue with his supervisor and say no, that they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what they're talking about, and he's just going to do this instead because that will help work production a whole lot better. After a while, the boss is going to say, no, dude, you can't do that anymore. So he would keep losing his jobs. Now, again, people lose jobs, things happen, but let's take it to the next level. He would lose his job and not tell me at all that he lost his job. So here I am trying to, buy groceries, getting kids stuff that they need for school, for maybe a project, even sometimes for special events. my kids did orchestra, so they would have to have a certain shirt or a certain, uh, outfit that they needed to wear, and you have to pay for that. So I'd go ahead, not knowing that we don't have work, or that no more checks are coming in or whatever, and I'd buy what the kids needed or what we needed, and then, you know, later at the end of the month, having known for a whole month, he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, by the way, that's the last of the money, so good luck." You could have told me earlier, and I never got angry whenever I found out he was without work. I just try to figure out a way through it, because what else are you going to do, you know? But that happened again and again and again. And the worst one that really got to me recently was he wanted to have a party. He loved having parties. He loved having people over so he could just show them how beautiful life was and how awesome he was and how awesome his family was. And that was the only times he would be nice to us, by the way. Anyway, he wanted us to have this big party, and I was like, that's a lot of money I would have to spend on food or whatever. I don't know, honey. Like, that's pretty tight. He's like, oh, no, you got to. We need to. So he talked me into it at the beginning of the month. So I did. I spent all that food. I got ready for the party. The party was the next Saturday. So 3 weeks later, the party's on a Saturday. I'm, finishing prepping the house, and he's on a Friday night, and he tells me, hey, I got something to tell you. Yeah, I lost my job. And I said, but when did you find out about this? And he's like, oh, a month ago. He knew for over a month, and he didn't tell me. He didn't let me know. He purposely withheld that information so I could have a party. So I could blow the cash that we had on food and party stuff, even though, even with the paycheck, I felt like that was tight and probably irrational. But because he wanted it so badly, I went ahead with it. And that's the story of our life, is he pushes, he shoves. And because I don't want him to be upset, I don't want him to be angry and making our lives miserable, I concede. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. And then I justify, oh, he's just sad. Oh, he's just stressed. But who in their right mind does that to their family? And the only reason why he told me was because we had family that knew coming the next day, and he knew they were going to spill the beans. So he didn't want to be embarrassed when they told me, and I was sitting there going, oh my God.